And that is the close of our formal presentation. I hope everyone heard everything clearly. I see that we already have some questions in the Q&A, and Tony Johnson is joining us as well. And I will begin with the first questions in the Q&A. And the first question is, are there full-time programs as well? We do offer full-time programs. We do not have a full-time program in artificial intelligence right now. I'll put a link in the chat to our full-time graduate programs, though. They do span some of the same areas that our part-time online programs do. Do you want to add anything to that, Tony?
No, that's totally right. Yeah.
And the next question, can you please go over admissions requirements again? Are you able to go over the admissions requirements, the general ones or the specific ones as it relates to AI?
So specific as it relates to AI are going to be the full calculus sequence. You're going to need probs and stats and linear algebra. Then as far as the programming, you need to have an introductory programming language, programming class in Python. And then you need a second semester Python course. So it could be a data structures course or just an advanced Python course, but you need a second semester Python, and that will round out your prerequisites. Once you finish those, you can have full admittance into the program.
Great, thank you for that. The next question from Nargisa, what is the minimum duration of time that one can complete and earn the degree in, including all the prerequisites?
Ooh, okay, so if you don't have any of the prerequisites, that's gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's 7 courses that you would have to take before you even are admitted into the program. So hopefully you have your calculus already done. And if that's the case, then we're talking about 4. So with those 4 courses, you're looking at about 14 classes overall. And if you're working full time, I really don't recommend that you take over 2 courses per term. I have to be honest with you, these courses are challenging in terms of the amount of time that the professors are putting into it and the quality of work that you're going to be doing. To do more than 2 courses when you're working full time is going to be very, very challenging. Now, we do have students occasionally that can do that, but the course is set up so that the 5-year timeline starts when you take your first graduate degree. And what that means is that to meet the 5-year timeline, all you have to take is 1 course per semester. That does not include the summer. So you take the summer off, and that's 2 courses per year. In 5 years, you're done. A lot of our students elect to take summer courses. So now you're doing 3 courses per year. So you're done way sooner than the 5 years. And occasionally you could take 2 courses. So a lot of students on average will finish the degree somewhere between 2.5 and 3 years.
Great, thank you for that, Nargisa. I'm hoping that answered your question. I'm pretty sure it did. And a follow-up to the question before about admissions requirements, do you want to briefly go over the general requirements for the program?
So, in general, you need a 3.0 GPA in your undergraduate work, and specifically in the second half, so your junior and senior year. So what we do is we'll calculate the second half GPA. That needs to be a 3.0. Now, if you're coming in at a 2.9 or 2.8, I would still suggest you submit and apply. Add your resume, show any work that you're doing already in the field, and a letter of recommendation. It can't hurt, especially if you're at, really on the cusp, on the border there. So.
All right, great. And guys, be sure to, if there aren't a lot of questions coming in right now, but just be sure to put them in the Q&A so that I can make sure I'm getting everyone's question. The next question from Beth, do you have focus tracks? I'm interested in AI for medical purposes or clinical focus.
We do not have focus tracks right now in our AI program. It is fairly new. However, we do have a bioinformatics track in our computer science program. Those courses would be available to you to take as electives in the AI program.
All right, great. The next question from George. Do your elective offerings have courses in quantum machine learning?
Yes, we do have quantum machine learning. Excuse me, no. We do not have quantum machine learning courses at this time. We have courses in quantum computing, but we don't have it specifically tailored to machine learning algorithms. So that could be something that could be forthcoming, but it is not something that is in the catalog today.
All right, great. The next question, do the prereq courses count within the 5-year limit for the program completion?
No.
Okay, the next question from Aisha. I have all the math courses, but not formal programming training, but use Python at my job. Will proof of Coursera Python plus advanced data structure core course satisfy the requirement?
So we don't accept Coursera for satisfying those requirements. However, if you feel that you have significant experience and you can demonstrate that on your resume, that you've been working with Python, we will allow you to take a proficiency exam to demonstrate that expertise. And then if you pass the exam, then you don't have to take the introductory Python course.
All right, great. The next question from Krishna, is the TOEFL required for international students if they're working in the US for the last 6 years, more than 3 years? So there are international student requirements that are different from our local students. And the TOEFL is typically required for international students, but there are exceptions. So I will put an email address and some contact information for our international student resources, and you can speak to them directly about your situation. They'll be able to better guide you through that process. The next question from Ahmed, for a current mid-level data scientist, does this program still help you in actual data science production challenges, i.e. design of minimum viable product and challenges faced in industry? Is there any program like that for that?
John, do you want to answer that one? I thought he was on the line. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me punt on that question until John is on the line.
Okay, sounds good. We will circle back to that one. And now I'll go to the chat. Are the requirements the same for the postgraduate certificate?
Well, the requirements are different for the post. Okay, so we're talking about the postmasters or the postbachelors. If we're talking about the postbachelors, then the requirements are you're going to take the same foundations and core courses that you would for the master's degree. The beauty of the PBC, of the postbaccalaureate certificate, is that the 4 courses you take to get the certificate can be used, all 4 of them, towards your master's degree. So now you only need 6 more courses to get the master's degree. So I highly would recommend, if you can get the certificate on the way, if you know you want to get the master's degree. That is a really neat advantage to doing both.
All right, great. Thank you for that. The next question, I have learned Python through Coursera and other online platforms and do not use it at my job. Which course should I take to suffice the Python requirement?
So we have a course called Introduction to Programming Using Python, is 605-206. And that's the course that you would want to take. And that would suffice the prerequisite requirement. And all of that will be listed in your decision letter that you would get from admissions. It would tell you exactly what courses you have to take in order to be fully admitted into the program.
All right, great. Thank you for that. Do we have any other questions? You can submit them in the Q&A right now while you have our undivided attention. Can you explain the multivariate calculus must be taken before all other prerequisites requirement? Can I take the Python prerequisite and calculus at the same time? I have a provisional offer.
Absolutely. So you can take, so what you can't take is you can't take the courses that they call it, they say advanced math. Those are courses that are supposed to be taken after calculus, but you can definitely take the programming language and you can take the math requirement. You can take those simultaneously.
All right, great. And the chair of the program is joining us right now. Hi, John.
Hello, sorry for being late.
No
In
worries.
fact, I think I had a mix up on my calendar that this was starting later.
Okay.
Yeah.
No worries. We're gonna circle back to a question that was for you earlier. And the
Okay.
question is, for current mid-level data scientists, does this program still help you in actual data science production challenges? For example, design of minimum viable product and challenges faced in industry. Is there any program for that?
So this is the question is of the AI program or the data
Yeah,
science?
I think they're
program?
asking about like, are they going to learn how to do minimum, MVP as a part of the program? I mean, we don't have a particular course for that, but that's what they're
No,
asking.
but we do in the AI program, and this is the course that that I teach and I create it, and it's very popular, and we have John Healer. So we have a course called Creating AI-Enabled Systems, and we may even use, I mean, I may even use the term minimal viable product in the course, right? But the course is really meant to teach, right, go well beyond just AI as an algorithm, but how do you enable AI in a broader systems context? And so students actually do design projects, and we've had folks. For example, we had the lead data scientist from Caterpillar in the course, and he learned a lot from the course. And his project had to deal with a real world challenge for Caterpillar, right? Is how do you leverage what's in AI to improve fleet maintenance of industrial equipment? So in the course, we teach cloud. You get hands-on cloud experience. We have cloud courses. I mean, so if you think about what these systems look like, generally they get deployed in clouds, they get deployed in containers. So that all that stuff gets covered, through the program.
All right, great. Thank you, John and Matt. I hope that answers your question. The next question, I noticed the application process in AI is straightforward and does not require SOP, resume, and recommendation letters. If one has a GPA greater than a 3.0, should one upload all the above documents?
Not necessarily. I mean, you can, but you certainly are not required to do a statement of purpose or letter of recommendation. I do recommend that if you're already working in the industry, go ahead and upload your resume. That just helps to give us an overall picture of what you would be expecting in the course and what is the makeup of our student body as far as their experiences coming in. But yeah, no, if you have a greater than 3.0 average in your undergraduate academics, then you are sitting at a pretty good spot for being able to get into the program.
All right, great. Thank you for that, Tony. The next question from Hector. I understand that the professional certificate can be used to satisfy the master courses partially. Am I right? In that case, do you have any minimum passing scores to secure the credit transfer?
So you have to get a B- or above in all of your classes. And but there's no minimum GPA that's necessarily calculated, I guess. If you get a B- or above in the course, they transfer into the master's program.
All right, great. The next question, does industry experience help make up for a lower GPA, lower than Cusp?
Yes, it can help make up for, industry experience does help. I mean, it won't take you from a 2.3, to a 3.0. It's not going to do that. But if you're sitting at, like a 2.85, 2.87, it could help. We're not looking at just industry experience. We're looking at, how long have you been out of school? How do you have over 2 years of experience in the industry? We may be looking at that. That's when we'll take a look at those letter of recommendations. And really what we're trying to figure out is, is the person that was in college in their undergraduate career, is that the same person that is applying today? Because people change. And so anything that would help us with that, for instance, let's say you took a class, right? One of the prerequisite classes, and you got an A in that class. Well, that's great, because that tells us that, hey, maybe they had some bumps in the road in their undergraduate program, but hey, they took this course or that course and they got A's in those. So, that will bode well. Keep in mind that one of the things that we're going to do is we're going to pull out all of your analysis classes, right? And we're going to calculate the GPA for all of your analysis and engineering courses as well. And so if it looks like that those are really, really high, but what brought your GPA down was things like, your musical instrument class, or not that that's not important, or your, I don't know, something else, your poetry class or whatever, that also could help you, because we're looking for your academic potential in terms of engineering, analysis, mathematics, that kind of thing.
All right, great. Thank you for that. The next question, a person is asking about the backgrounds of people in the program, in terms of average age or years of employment. What kind of exit opportunities have there been for graduates, companies that hire grads, or can be expected for recruiting during the program, considering that this is a new program? I don't know if you all have any of that data, but if so, could you share?
Well, I mean, the program is rather new right now, so we don't have any of the exit information. I mean, we may have some anecdotes, but nothing, it's certainly not data-driven at this point. The average age, I mean, it's going to be somewhere, in late 20s, early 30s. A lot of times our students are professionals already working in the field, or we have students who are working in different fields and are looking for a change. And that's going to be pretty common. So we are definitely seeing a slight uptick in our prerequisite course enrollments because of that. If you're coming from a different field, you may not have the linear algebra or the multivariable calculus. Even if you had calculus 1 and calculus 2, you may not have had that third level of calculus. So we're seeing a slight uptick in the enrollment in those courses. But I would say that, as a gauge for whether or not this is something you want to do and you're really looking at the employment potential, take a look. First of all, if you're in the field, talk to your employer, talk to people that are adjacent to your employer and see what kinds of things that they're interested in. I think you'll find a very good and healthy pool of people that are interested in artificial intelligence, particularly at this time in terms of where we are with data-driven systems and systems that are being enhanced with AI. John, you might have some more to add to that as well.
Sure. In fact, the inspiration and genesis of this program was a kind of a global recognition of the impact AI is having on society, and commensurate with that is, and just go Google AI workforce, that we don't have the workforce we need and you know, my day job is at the Applied Physics Laboratory, so we have this problem. Many other organizations have the same problem. You know, be it a Google, Amazon, be it whomever, right? So, this program was created for focused education to really enhance our overall workforce. So I think there are opportunities within existing organizations. You know, so just back to, right, lead data scientist from Caterpillar, he needed to learn AI to expand his value to the organization. So within your own employer, you could find opportunities, and then it would open doors for other opportunities as well, because the demand is out there, and we are seeing it just in the sheer numbers of applicants into this program, which is just kicked off. So.
All right, great. Thank you both for that. The next question from Aisha: is a letter of recommendation required?
No, it's not required.
Right. The next question from Samay: my transcript from a university in Egypt is not using a GPA. And will that work for your evaluation? So I put a link to the international student resources in the chat, and you can click that. Any person that's applying from a non-US institution does have to have a course by course evaluation. So I can't say whether or not, you know, your transcript will satisfy the requirements for graduate admissions. But if you go to that website, there is a link to Wes and to the people who we recommend you get your transcripts reviewed by. I hope that answered your question. The next question: can I attend a couple of courses on campus if I apply for the online master's in AI?
Oh, yes. I mean, if we still do face-to-face courses, and if they're a course that would count towards the degree in AI, yeah, no issue. We would accept that course.
Now, our campus is located in Howard County, not in Baltimore. And our classes, our face-to-face classes on campus, again, this is a program that is tailored to help working professionals. Our classes start at 4:30 p.m. That's session 1. And then our second session started, I think, 7:10 p.m. So 4:30 to 7, and then 7:10 to like 10. Those are the 2 times. And we have classes Monday through Friday.
Great, thank you for that. The next question is asking the cost of the overall master's degree. And so graduate level courses cost $5,872. Everyone gets a Dean's Fellowship for $1,117. So the cost per course is $4,755. And you have to take 10 courses to complete the master's degree requirements. So we recommend our students to budget between $48,000 and $50,000, including books. For the cost of your education. There are no hidden fees. The only additional fee that you will pay is your graduation fee, and that's $100. 78% of our students actually receive employer benefits. So you want to check to see if your employer offers tuition reimbursement, tuition remission. Those things happen a lot with our students. And I'll also put a link to our admissions and aid paid. We unfortunately do not offer any funding internally for our master's programs, but there are resources out there. And like I said, I'll put a link in the chat shortly. The next question: can you talk about interaction with advisors? What role will advisors play during the program, and how often do we interact with advisors?
Okay, so advisors are going to be assigned to you once you are admitted provisionally, conditionally, or otherwise. The moment that you are admitted into any category, you will be given an advisor. Your advisor will contact you, help you to develop your degree plan, like what are the 10 courses that you need, what are the prerequisites that you need, Your advisor would be able to help you and assist you if there are some waivers that need to be applied. You will be giving contact information for your advisor, their email, their telephone number in your decision letter. And you are encouraged to contact your advisor right away. Also, we have a robust infrastructure for collaboration virtually. And of course, COVID enhanced that. And one of those is MS Teams. So you'll be able to get a hold of your advisor 24 hours a day, right? Through your MS Teams. And MS Teams can be on your phone, it could be on your computer, it could be on your laptop, your iPad. So these are so there are a variety of ways that you'll be interacting with your advisor. And of course, Zoom chat, and then face-to-face if you're local in the area.
Great, thank you for that, Tony. The next question, are there any discounts for prerequisite courses?
Absolutely. If you are provisionally admitted, there is a 75% discount, and that's above the discount that Ayana talked about before. So that means that for the price of, let's see, you could take 4 prerequisite courses for the price of 1 graduate course. And so I think that the dean did that. Yeah, I mean, I don't know where he gets the money from, but wherever he got it from, I think it's great, because that means that, you know, you can get your prerequisites knocked out of the way. And if you have a budget from your job, you're not taxing into that when you could be using that for your grad courses. So I think that's a great deal.
Indeed, it is. The next question, what about the education platform facilities provided from JHU?
What about the facilities? Well, we have online, we have in-person facilities here at our Howard County campus. As far as online, we have Lightboard studios, we have green screens, we have we have a lot of different ways that we can, and formats to provide the lectures from the instructors. So I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, hey, Tony, let me add to that too,
Yeah.
because this is a very powerful thing we offer. So there's a lot of, once you become a Hopkins student, you get access to online libraries and things like that. One of the big ones that I use quite a bit, and I use it in my class, is the O'Reilly series of books and videos, which if you're in the computing field, it's a profound set of resources that are basically 24/7 access to things. And then in the AI program, at least in the foundations course that I teach, and I now have another faculty member teaching, is we actually, in the course, you get access to Microsoft Azure as a Hopkins student. So, yeah.
Great, thank you for that. The next question from Ahmed is specific to his experience. Graduated from Rutgers with a 3.3, has been out of school for 6 years, now has been working for 2 years in deep learning research and data science. The question is, does this gap count for admission at JHU? He's 29, but plans to something at 31, sorry, and was an ECE. I think he's asking what his chances are of admission and if the gap between his undergrad and working will count against him.
No, it won't count against you. And if you've already been accepted into ECE, then that process for you is going to be even more streamlined. You simply need to send a note to your advisor and ask that you be evaluated for artificial intelligence. And the admission.
Oh no, I'm reading the chat. His bachelor's.
Was in
Well, I don't know if he or she. but the bachelor's was in ECE, so.
Oh, I thought he
at
said he was
Rutgers.
admitted
Yeah,
into the EC, because we have an ECE program.
Right.
Okay,
yeah.
yeah, so,
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, and likely, your ECE degree at Rutgers probably armed you with the prerequisites, because most ECE programs will get into the linear algebra, multivariate calculus, and you probably had some decent programming. So, yep.
So the only thing I could see outstanding maybe would be the probs and stats. Yeah.
Okay, I hope that answers your question, Ahmed. If not, you can feel free to circle back. Another question in the Q&A. I am in the Pacific time zone. As a professional, I can only attend 3 hours on any working day and 5 hours on weekends during the 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. slot. Do you think I should be able to meet the program requirements by spending this much time?
Well, I mean, how much are you getting done during that time? I mean, it's really relative in that regard. I can't say for sure objectively whether or not it would be enough time. I mean, it seems like, I mean, if you could put 3 hours into one course per night, and then you had 5 hours on the weekend, I mean, certainly in the courses that I'm aware of, you would be able to do something like that. But again, that's mitigated on the amount of time that you're actually, it takes for you to comprehend the material. Certainly in our algorithms and programming courses, those courses could take a little bit of time, especially when you're talking about coding. So I can't say for sure that those bookends would be, exactly what you need. I would say, try the course, try taking one course and seeing how you do. And if you say, well, I've got significant time left over, then you could try taking 2, but I can't say for sure.
All right, thank you for that, Krishna. I hope that answered your question. The next question from Francine: are the requirements the same for the postgraduate certificate? Master's. I have a master's in industrial systems engineering, and I'm interested in applying for the graduate certificate.
So for the PMC, you would be taking, you would be taking 5 courses in the program. And, those 5 courses would be selected based on what your master's degree is in. So your master's degree has to be in a related field. In other words, basically your master's degree has to cover the fundamentals, the foundational courses of that particular program. If it doesn't, then you won't qualify to get the PMC. So basically, we would have to look at what your master's degree is and what courses you actually took. And if those courses are graduate level courses that meet our foundational requirements, then you'd be eligible to get the Postmaster certificate.
All right, great. I hope that answers your question, Francine. The next question related to time zone: are classes live or recorded? This person is also on the West Coast.
So we have 2 online formats. We have an asynchronous format where you are in a module for a week, and you're given 1 week to watch the pre-recorded lectures, to do the practical exercises, and to take some type of exam or assessment in that week. This is asynchronous because time doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where you are in the world. It doesn't matter when you do it. You do it on your own time. Our other online format is called Virtual Live. This format is based on Eastern Standard Time zone, and you log on at the same time that the instructor logs on, and the instructor gives a live lecture of their material. So this one would be contingent, and you would have to align your time to the Eastern Standard Time of the class so that you can log on at the same time the instructor logs on. Now, occasionally, you may find an instructor who will record their live classes, and then you could watch them at different times. but that is not something that's going to be guaranteed in every virtual live course. It's not mandated, but I'm just saying that is something that some instructors do automatically. They'll just record their lectures, but that's the difference, and those are the two online formats.
All right, great. Thank you for that. The next question from Nargisa: how does Postmaster certificate differ from executive education certificates offered by other universities?
You want me to take that,
Yeah,
Tony,
you
or
take
do
that
you?
one, John.
Yeah. All right. So yeah. So what an executive education generally is, and there's varying formats. They are generally short duration, non-credit courses, right? So you show up, you do some in-person stuff, maybe you do some reading at night. So our certificates are credit-based, and you're in the same courses as graduate students. So they're I would say the courses are a bit more rigorous. You're going to have to put in more time. You're going to have to complete homeworks, programming assignments, write papers, what have you. So yeah, I mean, executive ed is generally for busy executives, managers, so they get what they get during the time they're in the class. So there's not a lot of kind of out of class doing homework, doing programming, developing AI models. Yeah, and that's a different part of Hopkins that we work with that is off developing some executive education courses in AI. I mean, they're important. It's part of that whole AI workforce. We need executives who understand the technology as well. So, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, great. The next question from Krishna: I have a bachelor's degree in ECE. I've taken all four maths and data structure using C and object-oriented programming using C++ in college. Do you think this will meet the prereqs? Also, the recommendation letter, should we upload or will you reach out to recommenders directly?
So we don't reach out to recommenders directly. You need to upload the letter when you apply. In terms of your object-oriented programming in C++, I mean, that's great. You will see your decision letter, however, that we recommend Python. We may not require it if you have sufficient programming experience in another language, but we may recommend it. Now, what that means is that in recommending that you take it, we're saying, look, it's great that you have this programming language, but you're going to see the programming language used in the program is going to be Python. So in recommending Python, we're not going to prohibit you from getting full admission, but we will acknowledge that if you are behind, you may opt to go in and take that prerequisite course anyway, although it's not required.
All right, great. Ahmed, I don't know if Tony, if you remember the question with the person that was asking about the gap, the 6 years education, asked if you could restate the last sentence. I don't know if you remember your last sentence that you said to him. Yeah, he doesn't remember the last sentence. Ahmed, if you could clarify which part, you can do that in the chat right now, or I will supply an email address and you can email your questions and we'll get it to Tony after the session is over. I don't see any other questions in the Q&A right now. We have about 9 minutes before we wrap up. So now would be, there we go. Would you please share the recording of this session? Very informative. So Aisha, what will happen is that we will have a production of the PowerPoint that we'll put on the website, and you'll definitely get notification when that's up on the website. And we will also have the Q&A up, but not this full recorded session. So yeah, but you know what, if you want it, it may not be public. If you want this recorded session, I can send it to you directly after Zoom does what it does in the cloud and sends it to me. I can send it to you if you need it. That looks like the last question in the Q&A. Wait, did another one just come up? No. Yes, no, yes, no. It's been mentioned that this program is relatively new. How many intakes have graduated so far? I've noticed as well that this program is ranked #2 in US News ranking. Can you please shed light on that?
John, I'll let you take that.
Yeah, so the program is new. We are, what, Tony, in our third semester? I don't know. Starts to
Third
blur.
semester.
3 semesters. So we do not yet have a graduate in the program. You know, it'll take several semesters to get there. Yeah, on the ranking, so the way that US News and World Report ranking works is it really consolidates several of the programs. I like to call them the computational sciences programs at Hopkins and EP. So it's right, the foundational one, the biggest one is computer science. But from our computer science program, we have built a information systems engineering program, a cybersecurity program, a data science program in partnership with applied and computational math, and now an AI program. So they pretty much share a lot of common courses. Tony, who's awesome, actually is the program manager across all of them. I don't know how he does it, but he's an amazing person. Right, so that ranking kind of embodies all of that. So you're getting the same quality that is nested in our computer science program, which I think I would call as kind of the foundational, the bedrock.
Yeah.
Great, thank you for that. The next question, how does the AI program generally differ from the regular data science program?
Oh yeah, great question there. So AI is a broader field than just data science. And so our data science program is really two big components. It's a lot of applied computational math, so that's deeper. You're going to get a deeper treatment of math and rigor of math with some select computer science courses. AI, since it's a broader field, you're not going to do as many math-oriented algorithms courses, like optimization. I mean, you have options to take some of those courses, but it's not as focused. So what we did in AI, because it is a broader field, you have a broader program that gives you breadth of courses you could take, kind of versus really deep in math and some key computer science courses. So in AI, we even reach into ECE, where we pick up robotics courses and things like that. So, yep.
Great, thank you for that, John. This will be the last question as we close out the session today. This person is an MD with a background in psychiatry and has taken the basic prereqs for pre-med in the 70s, interested in matrix-based constant constraint satisfaction modeling for optimization, and wonders if there will be an opportunity to do a project in this and at what point.
So maybe 2 points. So in the course in the creating AI enabled systems, we have students do projects. The projects are of students' choice. They do a systems project and they do a research project, because in many ways, the field of AI systems is still a nascent field that still deserves research. So that is one option. The second option is we allow independent studies, right? So later in your pursuit of your degree, you could opt and say, hey, I'd much prefer doing an independent study on a topic in lieu of a 700 level course. And then you need to find a faculty who will be your advisor and oversight person to pursue that independent study. So, and that's generally, you know, you're up around, you've taken like 7 or 8 courses already, and then you're at that point.
Great, thank you for that, John. I'm seeing all the emails from you all wanting the archive to this session, so I appreciate you being on top of that. I will surely email the session, the archive session, and it won't be public. It'll just be an email link for you to access the session. And so, yeah, we are going to close the session out today. Tony or John, do you have anything before we sign off?
Nope, just hope you apply, and we look forward to seeing you in the program.
Definitely. All
Yep.
right. Thank you both.
Yep. Thanks for your time.
Yes, thank you both for your time, for joining, for answering all these great questions. I put both my email address and the email address for general admissions questions in the chat. And we look forward to seeing you all in our virtual classroom. Enjoy the rest of your day.
All right. See ya.